Johnny boy!
I might crack your wrist. You should be saving your strength for your arm, bro.
What's happening, Johnny?
You can still back out. This isn't tongue wrestling, bro.
Hey, come say hello to Big Dick and the twins.
What is wrong with me?
I ain't amused.
And then we wake up to the communists in the Democrat Party, who are all of them. And then we have the chief communist, who should be arrested, by the way, for sedition. Bernie Sanders should be deported with his seltzer truck all the way back to Vermont. And then from Vermont, he should be deported to I don't know where. Now he wants all student loans forgiven. That's Bernie Sanders, all student loans. All of them forgiven. Because it's unfair for you to have work to take a student loan. So who ups Bernie Sanders? None other than the oven stuffer, Elizabeth Warren. If I were casting a film on the Third Reich and I needed someone who's running a concentration camp, a commandant, it would be Elizabeth Warren. She would. I didn't say she would do that. I'm just saying, as a guy who has a filmic mind, Elizabeth Warren looks like a matron in a concentration camp to me. But then again, she's a leftist, so she can't be. You see, it doesn't work for you. So she now wants to escalate that from not forgiving student loans. She wants all college to be free. Yeah, let's go to college. I want to go to college. I want to be a college boy. I want to study in college so I can have more sex and get more drugs and hate America even more with more articulateness. Yeah, we all got to go to college. Got to go to college. That's what we need, is free college for the morons. Just what we need. Should all student loans be forgiven, as the communists under Sanders want? Well, if this keeps up, if they're not called out for what they are, if we don't stand up to Elizabeth Warren and Bernie the Seltzer Man and the entire Democrat Party, if this keeps up, they want this for free, student loans forgiven, all college free, all illegal aliens allowed in. If this keeps up and they keep pushing this narrative, I would not be surprised if Jonathan Swift wouldn't come back and say that if this is not stopped, in a short period of time, they will be demanding that the firstborn white child be sacrificed to the state for fairness, since so many people of color are being killed in America. It's time to make things more fair. We need the homicide rates amongst children to go up amongst Caucasians. You see where I'm going, or is that too far ahead of the pack? Now, there's a great article on Zuckerberg, who is the most dangerous man in the world, in my opinion. And there's a great article. Zuckerberg's new cryptocurrency is absolutely terrifying. Apparently only one reporter in the country is not afraid of him, and she is a writer for the New York Post. Of course, she sees things as they are. She's probably a liberal. Her name is Maureen Callahan. Zuckerberg's new cryptocurrency is absolutely terrifying. She says just when it seems Facebook can't get more sinister, more Orwellian, or more mercenary, it does, announcing its own branded global cryptocurrency. Does this strike anyone else as terrifying? And she goes on, I talked about it last week. I was just as shocked by this madman. And guess what? Zero federal regulations. Zero congressional oversight. Zero from Donald Trump on the madness of the tech giants who are out of control. Why is that? Anyone have any idea why Donald Trump has done nothing to rein in the tech? They're the robber barons of our time, in my opinion. What would you call them? They pay their proportionate share of taxes like my dog does. You know they don't. Yet they're power mad. One of them is a retail giant. He's driving all the retail stores, and many of them are out of business. They're shuttered across America. And he uses the U.S. Postal Service at a very reduced rate. How come Donald Trump hasn't even stopped that? Well, I think the very same elements that invited, I even forget her name, I blank it out of my mind because she's the biggest waste of human DNA in the human history that was in the White House was there talking about prison reform last week. I think the very same elements around President Trump, who invited that human waste of DNA into the White House to talk about prison reform, have also whispered in the president's ear to leave Zuckerberg and the tech giants alone. That's my opinion. But then again, what can I say to you? I call him like I see him. I call balls, I call strikes. And that is why I read The Boy Who Cried Wolf by Aesop and the Savage Nation. Are you looking for a way to save some extra money this summer? Well, why not? Well, I would say start by paying less interest on your credit card balances. How do you do that? Simple. Refinance with a credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. It's an easy way to save hundreds to thousands of dollars and lower your interest rate. Now listen, Lightstream offers credit card consolidation loans from 5.95% APR with AutoPay. That's a pretty good rate. There are absolutely no fees, and you can even get your money as soon as the day you apply. Lightstream believes that people with good credit deserve a better loan experience, and that's exactly what they deliver to you. Just for my listeners, pay attention. Apply now to get a special interest rate discount. The only way to get this discount, listen, is to go to lightstream.com/savage. That's lightstream.com/savage. Lightstream.com/savage and slash your credit card interest just by going to lightstream.com/savage. Did you hear what I said? Rate includes 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/savage for more information and have a great summer with lightstream.com/savage. He doesn't have a name of his own. He's known as the son of the famed Beatles member John Lennon. But he attacked the leftists and political correctness, saying that they're frightening bores. They're bores frightened by comedy and science. There's a huge turnaround going on amongst young people in this country. It's long overdue. I don't know that it's going to be in time. I kind of doubt it. I'm waiting for a new book to come out called The Death of the West by President Otto Spengler. But that's a joke, by the way, for those of you who know Otto Spengler even is. I doubt it. After your brain has been made into gefilte fish by the media, I don't think you would know who Otto Spengler is, anyone you know from Otto's Bakery. So here we are, watching the world go around, watching America disappear in front of our eyes. And things go on. You go to a Chinese restaurant, you try to forget your troubles in San Francisco, you come out, your window's broken in, and all your belongings stolen. And it's gangs. The Chinese guy said, oh, one of them rides by on a bicycle, and he has a cell phone. He calls the other one in the car. And then they're in 1 minute, and they break the window, and it's like a job for them. They take the bridge back over the bridge, the East Bay. They divide up the loot, sell off the passports, the licenses, the underwear, the socks. That's San Francisco. Have a nice night out in San Francisco. Dine out in San Francisco. But you bring your car, you better bring a spare window with you. So I'm going back on my, where am I? On my Twitter feed? Let's see. Where did I start? Trump stops an attack in Iran, but who misled him? Should we go to war with Iran? Remember that poll? It was 83% said no. The only people saying yes are those on Oxygen and talk radio who pretend that they're conservatives, but they're really progressive communists in disguise. And there are some other stories here. Mass immigration raids and deportations delayed. But then again, it was five-dimensional chess. It was to trick everyone that he said he was going to do it. Very, very nice. Then I got so bored of the presidency and so bored of politics. I started reading science again. And I got very interested in N-acetylcysteine, which I've known about for about 3 years. But I was thinking about this NAC lower homocysteine or raise it. I was very pleased to find out that NAC lowers homocysteine levels. For those of you interested in heart issues, your doctor probably hasn't caught up with that. So I put NAC lowers homocysteine levels, educate your heart doctor. I thought that was an interesting post. Got almost no traffic. Then I posted a picture of my window, San Fran smash show, I called it. It's really ugly. And then there was a heartbreaking story of the former Marines on motorcycles in New Hampshire who were killed by a guy driving a pickup truck dragging a car trailer who's killed all of them. 7 bikers killed on a pickup truck smashed into them, a flatbed trailer. So I posted, did the truck driver smash and kill the Marine bikers on purpose? Was this an act of terrorism? Well, I got roundly criticized by people saying, how dare you even ask the question? Well, I asked it for a couple of reasons. Rather. The truck driver's name, which was released, was a Russian or Ukrainian name. That was number one. So, all right, not all Russians, Ukrainians are terrorists, but okay, that's the first red light that went off. Then, after this tragedy, the cops in New Hampshire released them. Then they couldn't find them. His employer couldn't even find them. I'm the only one in the media following this story, and guess what I found out for you? The truck driver was arrested 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago. They found him, and when they investigated his house, they found bags of heroin in it. So that doesn't mean it's terrorism, but there was more to the story than met the eye. Why did the cops release him initially after a thing like this? Why? Well, what was something doesn't make sense for the New Hampshire State Police or the local police to have come upon such a tragic scene with so many deaths and released the driver of that truck that smashed into motorcyclists. I'm sorry, I would do an internal investigation. I've seen too many movies to think this was by accident. And I need the FBI to get involved in this horrible case. That was a tweet from June 23rd. Then John Lennon's son, I don't know his actual name, I think his name is John Lennon's son, denounces leftists. Gallup says immigration is the number one problem. And I got to ask you again, what is your biggest problem? What's your problem, sir?
Savage.
Look, this is not easy to say, but you cannot prevent aging. It's a fact of life, and with aging comes unwelcome changes you wish you could change, most notably in your skin. Well, look at pictures from years ago, and you can see how much your jawline has changed, right? It doesn't have to with Chamonix's MDL technology. Genucel's brand new jawline treatment specifically targets the delicate skin on the neck area for tight, healthy, younger-looking skin. Robin from Lubbock, Texas says, I put Genucel jawline cream on my neck 2 or 3 days ago. This is the best my neck has looked in 20 years. People told me my face looks young. I am really blown away, she says. You will see your mirror smile back at you, or 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Call now in the classic Genucel for bags of puffiness is free with your order. That's 800-SKIN-891, 800-SKIN-891, 800-SKIN-891. And to start seeing results in 12 hours or less, Genucel Immediate Effects is also yours absolutely free. Your chin, neck, and jawline don't have to reveal your age. Call 800-SKIN-891 or go to Genucel.com. Get your 2 free gifts and free shipping now. Call 800-SKIN-891, 800-SKIN-891 or go to Genucel.com. Chicken bones in a greasy bag thrown under a bus seat by an old lady going to her retirement. On a bus I once took on my first Hegira from New York, which was a bus ride to Miami in the late 50s. And that's in a chapter called Hegira from New York, From a Savage Life. I was flipping through it during the break. I said, is there anything in here worth reading that my audience hasn't heard before? And I said, look at this line. Now, it is true that Tolstoy died in his 80s covered with snow on a train station bench after setting off on one more journey. And that there is something defeatist about saying you're through traveling while still young and healthy. But here comes the kicker. I wrote this. This attitude is true sacrilege in a nation obsessed with motion. But, like Kerouac, America too will learn her limits. And I hope it's before we burn out in an old armchair in front of a television, drunk and drugged, watching another one of our endless foreign peace missions. That is good writing. But since no one knows what good writing is or bad writing is anymore, I'll tell you that's good writing. So I'll continue. Miami. In those days, 1958, you could get a full breakfast for 39 cents. 2 sunny side-up eggs, fried in butter, 1 slice of grease-ridden ham, 2 slices of white toast suffocated in butter, coffee and juice. I loved every bite, but have never again eaten anything like that. Now it's one healthful and bland dirge after another. But I'm still alive, which is an achievement in this world. Balancing your wants against your needs without becoming homicidal or suicidal is success. Though I will admit to approaching both states several times along the road. Come on, you got to admit, even if you hate me, that I'm a great writer. Kerouac's On the Road had just surfaced at Queens College. Harold, the older fat boy in the crowd, smilingly fished it out from his tent-like trench coat one rainy autumn day in Flushing. He told us younger guys, milling around between classes, that the book portrayed a wild car ride across America. Lots of sex, saxophones, and drugs on every page. As they say today, it was a real page-turner. My first, really, unless you count the book I read when I was about 8 about some guy who flew a seaplane into Arctic lakes, saving Eskimos and trappers. Kerouac's Odyssey was not about saving others. He was on his own road of salvation, seeking drama through thrills, not yet knowing that peace within came only when the trips were over and you could sit on a balmy pier watching the gulls while thinking about where you had been and what you thought you were doing there. And then I talked about the other thing I read to you about America. And want me to go on, yes or no? Mike needs to know. Buddy needs to know right now. Do you want me to continue reading the story from A Savage Life? Or do you want me to go back to politics as usual and do what everyone else does and beat you to death with the horror of America today when you've come to understand that it's two-card Monty and no matter who you elect, the country's going to be overrun by illegal aliens and our budget will be destroyed? Anyone have an answer to that one? But Harold's book was just the kick I needed to unchain myself, so I thought, from clan and caste. So during mid-semester break, it was my first bus trip to Miami, followed in later seasons by a wild non-stop car ride, 8 of us packed into a fast Hemi Dodge, and later still an Army surplus DC-3 that taxied on a tail wheel from Newark. Tilted at 45 degrees, you felt like Buck Rogers about to take off on a space adventure. Until the stewardess, not yet a flight attendant, distributed those box lunches that smelled of cardboard. Other than being robbed in a Fleabag hotel by a midget bellhop who pulled some kind of trick on me by making my bankroll of $80 disappear from the hotel safety box, nothing much exciting happened down there. It is true, I got my money back by causing a bad scene, provoking seedy Orson Welles types to slowly close in on me in a circle, only being saved at the last minute by the Dade County Blue Boys. They came, mind you, because the midget had called them in an attempt to intimidate this Yankee into backing off on his crazy demands. But when the 6 cops arrived, as I say, I was surrounded by an assortment of perfectly fine carnival geeks. And the midget suddenly discovered that my money was, wait, somehow still in that steel box. It suddenly appeared. Must have fallen down and back somewhere, that's all. Charged with pulling victory from what would have been fiscal disaster on my first solo flight from the nest, I took my friends to dinner. And I don't remember the meal. And that's all I've got to say about eating in Miami. That should be some music right now. That's from A Savage Life of Michael Savage. Next one is An American Gangster in Spain and Mallorca. But that's a long one. I'm not going to read a long story. I don't think I'm going to read any more from the book unless you demand I do. I don't know what my favorite story might be. You know, there's a new one in there, in case you don't know. It's called The Grandfather one. I don't want to make a mockery of it. It's called... Oh, there's 3 new stories in there. I forgot about that. Conversations with My Great-Grandfather, who I never met, by the way. And The Knockout is a really good one, and God's Warriors. You want me to read The Knockout, God's Warriors, or Grandfather? Let's take some calls. WDRC in Connecticut. Dave, line 3, go ahead. You're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah, Dr. Savage. You know, I'll tell you something. I really am sick of Trump now, and I'm off his train. And the reason why I'm off his train is exactly what you said. It doesn't matter who you vote for anymore. It really.
Oh, but it does matter, because as bad as it is, I think it would be 100% worse under one of the communists who are running.
So what? Yeah. So what?
So in other words, it's again a choice of lesser evils, right? Again, we're faced with the same. It's a Bush job all over again.
It's a Bush job, like you said. That's right. They're absolutely right.
The death of the West, no matter what you do, we're going to you-know-where in a handbasket, and we're going pretty fast right now. Because once these millions come in, there's no turning the clock back. They're never going to be deported. You actually believe in 2 weeks he's going to start deporting them?
No, he's a liar. He's a liar.
Ooh, that's a low blow. Well, I'll send you A Savage Life, because there's not a lie in the whole book. I read another story today that should encourage you if you really want to throw your guts up. Remember Neil Gorsuch, who allegedly was a conservative, and whoa, we got no conservatives on the Supreme Court. Yeah, Supreme Court the matter. We gotta get them on the Supreme Court. Yeah, Supreme Court. Gotta get the Supreme Court. Justice Gorsuch, it was 2 hours ago, joins liberals to deal victory for criminal defendants. Justice Neil Gorsuch joined the Supreme Court's liberal bloc to deal victory for criminal defendants Monday, striking down a federal law that punishes gun crimes as unconstitutionally vague. It's too complicated. All I can tell you is that he joined the liberals on the court because he is a liberal. He always was. So is the other one. Who was the other one that came in first that we thought was a conservative that isn't? Whatever. Forget about it. Roberts, right? You got Roberts. You got Gorsuch. And Kavanaugh is so far a split decision. That's all. Bernie Sanders proposes canceling an entire $1.6 trillion in U.S. student loan debt. Sanders is joined by Representative criminal Ilhan Omar, D-Min, who will introduce legislation now to eliminate all student debt in the U.S., as well as Rep. Pramila Jayapal, co-chairwoman of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. That's a code word for the Communist Party USA, who has championed legislation to make public universities tuition-free. Great, that's just what we need. More idiots going to college. I think I'd raise tuition and make it no public colleges so the idiots wouldn't go to college at all. What are you talking about? I think I'm still paying off my student loan debt. No, I'm not. How did I work my way through college, raise 2 children, hold down jobs, and go to college? How is that possible? Who funded my college? Who funded my college? Nobody. I did. I worked harder. I slept less. Instead of these drug-addicted bums that are in college today called millennials. They're going to save the world. 92. Did you see that story? Yet you're never going to believe. Now, this is in Germany. It's probably higher here. I hope it wasn't taken down. It may have been because I changed a lot of the story just now. 92% of people who identify as leftists in Germany live at home in their 30s. Or, I don't know. 92% of here, got it. 92% of left-wing activists live with their parents, and 1 in 3 is unemployed. Study of Berlin protesters finds. Social justice, global warming, social justice, global warming, prison reform. 90% of left-wing activists live with their parents, and 1 in 3 is unemployed. Study of Berlin protesters find. I throw them out in their can and make them take a job. And if they can't find a job, they should go to Turkey and work in a coal mine or serve coffee in Turkey until they can sustain themselves and then move back home to Berlin. How are you going to keep them down on the farm after they've seen Berlin? They don't want to go anywhere. That's all. Well, that's another story. What can I tell you? There's so much going on. That's why I wanted to read more from the book, but you're not interested. Well, he's not going to read unless you call and say, Mike, please read from the book. And if I get really bored, I'll read from The Art of War by Lao Tzu. I knew him personally, Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu was a nice guy. I met him. He made very good dim sum. I knew him 2,000 years ago because I'm the 10,000-year-old man. What would you like to talk about? San Francisco, Jim, you're calling on line 1. What's on your mind from KSFO?
2 points. There is literally no better radio than a Michael Savage story. Second point, San Francisco, I was around the Civic Center 3 days last week. Been here for decades. The city is total anarchy.
I had a friend come in from out of town about a year ago. We were walking in a park from in the Embarcadero. There was a bum with a golf club who gave us the eye. There was a bum with a golf club who looked us right in the eye like he was going to swing the club, but at the last minute, he saw the 2 Mexican bodyguards I had with me, and he decided he didn't want to get killed.
As I always say, they're not homeless. They're a-holes in general.
No, they're not homeless or that. What they are criminals in disguise. The word homeless is a misnomer of the American left. There is no guarantee of housing in the U.S. Constitution or the Bill of Rights, is there?
There is not.
No. So what would you do with them? I have a solution. You forcibly round up every bum in every city, and you move them to lands nobody wants to live in the state, and you move them to housing that was built for them Army barrack style, and you make them work and clean themselves up, and you give them the help that they need. You get them the hell off the streets, because the streets are uninhabitable right now. And let me tell you something else about civil society. Without civility, there is no society, which is exactly what we have in most cities today, which is uncivil society which is collapsing across America. Let's take a quick call. Hey, Albany, New York. Kathy, thanks for calling. You're on the Savage Nation.
Well, it's a pleasure to speak with you, Dr. Savage.
All right, what's on your mind? Because I got 2 minutes in this hour to finish up.
I voted for your reading. Continue reading.
See, I can tell by your voice that you're a woman who likes ideas, you like literacy, you like education, entertainment, and you want me to continue reading instead of doing the normal politics, right?
Yeah, I'm sick of the politics for a while.
Everybody is. They know no matter what they elect, they get the same thing in the end, which is the short end of the stick.
No.
Well, 10% is better than nothing. Let's put it to you that way. I'm going to send you a free copy of A Savage Life, and I'll start something and continue it in the next live hour in the Savage Nation out of this show. Okay, here's a piece from Boy in the Basement from the book A Savage Life, which, by the way, is in the bookstores tomorrow. I'd like you to go in there and move them to where they belong instead of in the toilet or under Jenny Married Three Mommies in that section. A Savage Life is not to be found in the sections where Jenny Married Three Mommies. I don't even know where they're going to hide it, but so in this book about my childhood, Boy in the Basement, I'm going to go into my father's store. Saul was cigarette Saul. We never saw Saul for a second without a Pall Mall hanging out of his mouth, and he always had tobacco stuck in his lip. He was always spitting a piece of tobacco out of his tough lip. Hello, Michael. Saul was a very nice man. He was married to Ethel. He was the brother of Charlie Potts, who died of cancer. Saul and Charlie were brothers, and Molly Bloom was their brother. Molly was the brother who didn't do anything. He was the bum. He lived with Saul and Effie and the three children in one small apartment. The years would go on, and he never left together. Never. Molly Bloom, I learned later, was a character of James Joyce, a woman, the daughter of a major. But in this case, Molly Bloom was this Jewish ne'er-do-well who lived with his brother and the wife in a two-bedroom apartment on Allen Street. Let's take some callers right now. Jack in California, line 4. Go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Uncle Mike, I thank you for standing up against the whole conservative establishment right now that just cheerleads for Trump 24/7.
Well, it is. Well, when you see the White House announce prison reform, and all it means is releasing felons in the street, it's not prison reform. It happened in California. They released them in the streets. Now, windows are being broken. People are being beaten up in the streets. What kind of prison reform is this? Guy got out on rape the other day and read the story. They released him for raping. A few years. He was in jail for a few years. Within 2 days, he raped the woman again. You hear this?
I try to talk to my dad. I'm a young man. And I try to say, Trump is not doing what he's saying. The wall is not almost finished. It's not there. It's not going to be.
The republic that Franklin described is on life support right now. The machine is beeping. It's about to go flatline if this keeps up. And I am talking about the flood of illegal aliens pouring over the border under a Republican conservative president named Donald Trump. And that's it for the day.
What are you saying? Just sit tight.
The Westwood One Podcast Network. Warning, the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. The Westwood One Podcast Network presents The Savage Nation. It's savage, uncut, unfiltered, and raw. Home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, New York Times best-selling author and National Radio Hall of Fame inductee, Michael Savage.
Many of us think we're immortal, that we can just BS our way through a day, lie to people, cheat people, etc. I want to begin this show by telling you that this business that I am in is all about credibility. That's the one word you must remember at all times. Not showmanship, not bluster. It's about credibility. I was taught that the first week, even before I went into talk radio. I knew a man who owned a number of stations. They were music stations. I went on the air as a talk show host, and he said, "You're very good, Michael. You're probably the best I've ever heard." And he said, "I remember one thing. It's only your credibility. That's the only thing that's going to keep you going is credibility." And I say this to you, my audience, because I only care about you.
You learned good.
And if you find that I'm being too critical of Donald Trump, I can't help that. There is a reason that I have to be critical when I am critical. And it's not for effect. It's not for shtick. And today is one of those days once again. Yesterday, I said no war with Iran. I spent the whole day explaining to you why no war with Iran. Meanwhile, the beached whale, who, by the way, admitted on his radio show today, I am told that he lobbied to have Bill Clinton elected over Bush. He was forced to admit it by a woman listener. The very same beached whale that was now pounding the war drums, and then he's copied by his parrots. Yesterday, we're calling for war and bombing. Why the president would listen to a talk show host who dropped out of high school, advising him on war and peace, I will never understand. I'll never understand that as long as I live. It doesn't mean you have to go to college to have common sense. But common sense would have dictated that you didn't want to start World War III over a god-darn drone. But those in the media who don't have any credibility whatsoever think it's good for ratings to pound on drums and make you think they're tough guys, right? We're screaming war, 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 war. Well, you know what happened yesterday, don't you? Called on and then called off the airstrike, or whatever it was going to be. Tomahawks, airstrike, we don't know. They say that he listened to someone on television. Of course, the someone on television is my student, who gets all of his ideas from me. We all know that. And so indirectly, thank God, Donald Trump heard what I had to say. Then another one on Fox News copied you, and I said if he goes to war, he won't get reelected. He'll be a one-term president. Thank God that person also listens to the show to get his or her ideas cleared up. But I want to ask you a question about the cover story that Trump called off the airstrike all on his own, before we talk about anything else. The cover story is that Trump first green-lighted a strike against 3 targets in Iran, and then a few minutes before they were supposed to have been launched, he canceled them. I have one question. Why didn't the president have a casualty assessment before he greenlit the airstrikes? He admitted that he called him off when he was told what the casualty assessment was, that there'd be a certain number of thousands of deaths if he launched these missiles or whatever. Usually a president is given a casualty assessment before he gives a green light to a mission, doesn't he? Or am I mistaken on that? I know I'm not supposed to ask it because the all-knowing media doesn't want to ask this question, but I will ask it again. Now, either he was denied the casualty assessment by John Bolton and the team of chicken hawks who got us into Iraq and want us in a war with, who knows, this time Iran, Russia, maybe throw in China. Do you know how great their power grows if we have a war with those countries? Have you any idea what happens to the power of these people if we're at war? They become demigods, more powerful than you can imagine. They have almost dictatorial powers if we go to war. Why didn't the president get a casualty assessment prior to announcing there was going to be a strike? Because we're told, he admitted today, that the New York Times story is true. In plain English, he said, yes, I did authorize attacks, and then I canceled it once I was told how many casualties there would be. It seems ass-wise backwards to me. Usually, a individual of that level gets a casualty assessment before making such a decision. So either he was not given a casualty assessment, or something else is going on that we don't know about. It could be shadows on the wall again. This could be a cover story within a cover story, within a triple cover story, and there could be another element involved we don't know anything about. Maybe Putin said on a hotline, you do this, we're going to nuke a target somewhere in Europe, or we'll launch on Israel, or we'll detonate God forbid, a suitcase nuke in New York City. We don't know what really went on. I'm supposed to believe what the media tells me? When did I start believing people in the media? When? Tell me when I started believing people in the media. Remember, in 1999, I gave a seminal speech that must never be forgotten, which was Beware the Government Media Complex. 1999, the Commonwealth Club, San Francisco. Beware the government media complex. And so I say to you, I don't trust anyone in the media except myself. And why do I say myself? because I try to use as much of my reason and readings and knowledge of things to make a decision. And there's no more important decision than taking the life of another person, whether it be a single life or the life of a nation or the life of 500 people or 1,000 people. I asked you yesterday, I was the only one in the media who asked you yesterday, what about the innocent Iranians who will die? Who else asked that question? Who? The parakeets who are in the beached whale cartel? Did the parakeets ask about human life? It didn't even come into their mind. All the parakeets wanted to know was it good for ratings? And with the little people out there who believe in them, like them more or like them less, to sound like a tough guy in a leather jacket with their arms crossed. That's all they thought about, nothing else. There was no other human quotient in there. Now, many of you are deluded, and you're going to tell me he's playing 16 electronic chess, and the rest of us are so dumb we're only playing checkers. If you want to believe that, God bless you. But please don't call me with that, because it's my statement. I made that statement 2 years ago. Please don't give me back what I said, that he's playing everybody. I don't believe it for 1 second. Somebody in that administration set him up for a fall. That's my opinion. And I pretty much can tell you which faction it is, because everybody knows which faction it is. It's no secret. Do you know that the military, the Defense Department, the generals are more dovish than the chicken hawks around him? Let me make that a little more clear for you. The military, the Defense Department, the generals did not want to strike Iran. They wanted diplomacy. It was the chicken hawks, the power-mad neocon chicken hawks, who pushed the president into that decision. Yesterday, I strongly urged the administration not to go to war with Iran over the downing of a single drone. But all day long, the war drums were... Walrus is the main and he always has been for attack first, ask questions later. His Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, is a military man, and although he's playing the role of a diplomat, Pompeo has very hawkish tendencies underneath that suit and tie. There are senators who I otherwise admire, like Tom Cotton and Lindsey Graham, both ex-military men, also claiming that we cannot let an aggressive Iran get away with taunting us, saying we'll look weak if we don't respond. That's sort of schoolyardish to me. Look weak. And then he listens to people like Wallbanger and the rest of the parrots, or parakeets, banging the television walls in favor of going to war. And the president listened. Apparently he listened to the war hawks and the chicken hawks. A plan of attack was moving forward, but somehow 10 minutes beforehand, President Trump asks those in the Situation Room, how many people would be killed? He was told 150 would die. And that's when the president called off the strike, saying it would be disproportionate. That's the cover story. Now, how do we know all of this? Well, we learned it on Twitter. How else did we know? We got all of our information from Twitter. You know how accurate Twitter is, don't you? That's the story, and we got to believe Twitter. That's right. The president informed the American people about war and peace on Twitter. But how do we know that's true, what he said? There could be more to the story. Earlier in the day yesterday, Vladimir Putin said on Russian TV the following. He said, I will say it straight. It would be a catastrophe at a minimum. Wait, let me read it exactly. This is what Putin said. Are you ready? He said, I will say it straight, comma. It would be a catastrophe, comma, at a minimum for the region, period. That's what Putin said. Catastrophe for the region at a minimum. What did Putin mean by that? Is it possible a phone call was made about possible nuclear retaliation onto the United States or an ally in the Middle East if we hit Russia's ally Iran? That is possible. After all, the well has been so poisoned in our relationship with Russia because of the Democrats and the collusion lie that Russia is more of an enemy now than they were under Obama. Or could it have been a financial or a cyber threat from China, something to do with dumping more of our bonds? But it never had to come to this. I had laid out a battle plan for President Trump and Trump's war that if he had followed, we would not be in this predicament now. And I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it for yourself. I'll publish this on my website. Now, here we are today. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. Now we get a report just minutes ago after this confusion that Sunday morning, ICE is going to go in and arrest illegal aliens, ripped them out of their homes, and women and children. Start the deportation. Now, you'll hear the very same people who were calling for bombing Iran, the very same parakeets, are going to say, good, rip them out of the house. Throw them out, rip them out by their hair. Rip them out, throw them out. If you hide to the church, rip the church too. Throw them out, throw them out. I'm smart. I know what I'm saying, I'm smart. Headline, ICE raids targeting migrant families slated to start Sunday in major U.S. cities. Once again, there's a division. Once again, there's a division inside the Trump administration. Acting DHS Secretary Kevin McAllen has been urging ICE to conduct a narrower, more targeted operation that would seek to detain a group of about 150 families that were provided with attorneys but dropped out of the legal process and disappeared. He warned that an indiscriminate operation to arrest migrants at their homes and at work sites risks separating children from their parents in cases where the children are at daycare, summer camp, or friends' houses and not present for the raids. That's what he's saying, the head of DHS, but he's been overridden by ICE Director Mark Morgan and other ICE officials who have circumvented DHS, right? Are you ready? And they're going to go into 10 cities, 2,000 families facing deportation orders in 10 cities, Houston, Chicago, Miami, L.A., and other immigration destinations. Last question before the break. Why are they signaling this in advance? It seems to me like a repeat of what just happened. Why would you tell Iran, we have made a decision, you'll see? Gear it up, get the fuel going, get the engines running, light up the fuses on the Raytheon equipment, get all the switches ready, and then 10 minutes before say, by the way, how many will die? Oh, no, cancel it, if that's the cover story. This is the same thing with the ICE raids now. They're telling them in advance. Tell me what you would do if you're one of those families. Would you sit and wait for them to come Sunday morning? What would you do? Where would you go? You wouldn't sit there and wait to be deported, would you? So why is this administration signaling that in advance? Why? I'll let you answer.
Savage.
Hey, look, we all have boxes somewhere with old videotapes of vacations, graduations, and other events that have, slipped away, right? You forgot about them. But those tapes and films can wear out over time, and you lose those memories forever. Not with Legacy Box. This is great. Now you can save your family films and photos from degrading or being lost forever by letting Legacy Box digitize them, bring back lost memories to watch and see them again. Now here's what you do. Send your Legacy Box filled with old home movies and pictures. They'll do the rest. Professionally digitizing your moments onto a thumb drive, digital download, or DVD. Easy to follow instructions and safety barcodes included for every item. Receive all your original recorded moments back, along with perfectly preserved digital copies. Get personalized updates at every step. Receive up to 12 personalized email updates. Now look, Legacy Box is the world's largest, most trusted digitizer of home movies and photos. Over 450,000 families have trusted Legacy Box. Over a decade of experience, all the work is done by hand, right here in the U.S. of A. There has never been a better time to digitally preserve your memories. Visit legacybox.com today to get started. Are you listening? Here it comes, because for a limited time, they're offering my listeners an exclusive discount. You heard me right. You go to legacybox.com/savage and you get 40% off your first order. You heard me right. 40% off by going to legacybox.com/savage. That's 40% off your order. Please get started and preserve your memories and your past today. That's legacybox.com/savage. Why should you believe anything I say to you about a product if I BS you about politics? Well, I don't, and I won't. You make up your own mind. Something's wrong with this picture. Airstrike, 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 war, and all of a sudden 10 minutes before, no war. Now we're hearing Sunday morning there's going to be an ice raid in 10 cities and around the family. Well, will that be called out 10 minutes before, too? After someone has a jelly donut and an egg? I don't understand this. Who is making these decisions? That 1 minute it's here, the next minute it's there. Colorado John, what's your opinion? What do you think?
We got cops
Well, first of all, the 150 that he saved was the same idea that you have, so there's two people that have the same idea you and him.
Sir, I didn't follow you. What, the 150 what?
You said you were concerned about the Iranian citizens.
Okay, yes, I was.
Right, and who eventually said we're not going to do this because of the Iranian citizens?
The president.
Thank you very much. You think 2 minutes before the attack he called it off? Give me a break. That's not...
Sir, he's admitted it, for God's sakes.
Fucking bulls are
He admitted it. Stop it. Stop being a true believer. And for 1 minute, put on your thinking cap.
No.
Why didn't the president have a casualty assessment before making the decision to bomb them?
Raids and why they're going on?
Sir, I asked you again. Why didn't the president have a casualty assessment of the 150 prior to blustering that he was going to bomb them?
He did. How do you know he didn't?
He admitted it.
He said he called it.
No. He said 10 minutes before, he asked how many would die, and he was told 150 and he canceled it at that minute. That's what he said. So stop inventing things.
You don't know.
Take a walk. Take a walk. Go listen to NPR if you want. Or one of the parakeets. Go listen to one of the parakeets. Or the chicken hawks out there rather.
Seems like these cops
posing
got
as
surrounded.
parakeets. No, so he admitted himself. He said he was going to do it, but 10 minutes before, he got the casualty assessment and canceled the strike. He said that, but you don't even believe. You know, you're the type. You're the type that if you come home and you find your wife in bed with another man, and she looks up from the sheets and she says to you, John, who are you going to believe? Me or your own eyes? That's who you're like. Who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes, John? I'm not in bed with another man. You're imagining it. There's no one in this bed, John. We were just fixing the pipes. We're fixing the pipes for this, John. We're not in bed. Who are you going to believe, John? Me or your own eyes, John? This is what's going on. It's very hard to deal with this. But I'll do the best I can. What about you? You're going to do the best you can? You want war or no war? You know what my poll is running? I'm running a poll. You know what the results are? Okay, now let's talk about an emergency. All right, well, listen, an emergency strikes. What's your first impulse? What do you do first? Well, your answer is, I'll run to the grocery store where I'll get food to supply myself with. What are you going to find there? Probably chaos, empty shelves, maybe some violence. How can you avoid this? It's simple. Use today to make a plan, to prepare. One practical place to start, as I have done, is storing food in your own home, even if you live in an apartment, a closet. That way you and your family are protected in case there's a weather emergency, natural disaster, or a long-term power outage and supplies die out or you can't get near a supermarket. Now, look, I only use my Patriot Supply for my food storage, and you should too. You start with a 4-week emergency food kit. This week, order a kit or two for yourself and save $100 when you go to my special website, preparewithsavage.com. It's that simple to protect yourself for an emergency. Preparewithsavage.com. These food kits give you breakfasts, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years, and it ships free. Did you hear what I just said? You're not going to throw it away in a year. It lasts 25 years if you store it properly. Listen to me. When it's breaking news, it's too late to prepare. Please do this now for your own sake and the sake of your family. Get your emergency food supply from My Patriot Supply at preparewithsavage.com. That's preparewithsavage.com. Be prepared, as Boy Scouts say. That's preparewithsavage.com. Most of you are projecting your own desires to believe something into what is not real. Here is the president, in his own words, giving his reasoning for calling off the Iranian airstrike 10 minutes before the attack. Listen.
They came and they said, sir, we're ready to go. We'd like a decision. I said, I want to know something before you go. How many people will be killed? In this case, Iranians. I said, how many people are going to be killed? Sir, I'd like to get back to you on that. Great people, these generals. They said, came back, said, sir, approximately 150. And I thought about it for a second. I said, you know what? They shot down an unmanned drone, plane, whatever you want to call it. And here we are sitting with 150 dead people that would have taken place probably within a half an hour after I said go ahead. Yeah. And I didn't like it. I didn't think it was proportionate.
All good. All good, but it should have been done privately with a casualty assessment before he made a decision. So something's wrong with the picture. Do you understand why I'm agitated? Why was he not given a casualty assessment before he made the decision? Then he's, come back with an assessment afterwards. Oh, 100, let's not do it. I made up my mind. The commander-in-chief is supposed to think about these things before with all the information, and a casualty assessment is part and parcel of every decision the military makes, especially in the world in which we are living today with social media. Maybe it wasn't true in World War I and World War II or in Korea, but today, every military decision is wrapped up in how is it going to look. Every one of them. So you would think that John Bolton and the wonderful team of national security advisors and the others who are so anxious to go to war would have said, Mr. President, here's the casualty assessment, 150. And then we wouldn't have heard anything about it. It wouldn't have even been an issue. They wouldn't have announced it and then unannounced it. So now the president has a problem on his hands. He looks indecisive, and people don't know what to make of it. They're saying, well, wait a minute, why did he decide to do it in advance without this? That's what people say. I'm sorry if I have to tell you what is actually going on as opposed to what you want to think is going on, but I have no option here. What option do I have? I have no option. I have no option. Credibility, credibility, credibility. It goes for me and it goes for everyone in politics. You cannot say, read my lips, no new taxes, and then raise taxes. You understand that? It cost President Bush his second term. He was a fine man, but he lied to the people and it cost him the election. That's what happened to Mr. Bush Sr., the first one. And so if he's not being given the total picture by those around him, then there's a problem there that has to be resolved, and that's why I'm doing this. You're going to use them as a meter of what to do in this world? Who would use anybody in the media, especially people as psychopathically narcissistic as those on television, to make decisions to do with life and death? Who? Who on earth would do that? Sorry. You want to have it all coming out from me? There, that's what it is. People have warned me not to do this today. I was fighting all morning with people on the emails. Don't do this, don't do it, don't say it. Go along with the program. I have no choice. Either it is or it isn't. What the hell is the point of doing this? What is the point of my doing radio if I can't tell you what I actually think? What am I here for? What am I actually here for? Tell me why I'm here. What, I like to walk around hearing my voice on a radio station? There's a reason I'm here. There's a reason I'm alive. There's a reason God has kept me alive to this day. And this is the damn reason.
Pigs got involved.
This is the reason. I don't have to search for the reason. I know why I'm here. I know why God has brought me here. I know why God keeps me alive. I know why God keeps me healthy to this minute. For one reason only. There's no future reason. There's no past reason. There's only the present reason. And the reason is to use my deep analysis, my historical knowledge, and my brains to tell you what I think is going on. Otherwise, there's no reason for me to be here. So I just told you something's wrong with the picture. He just admitted he was going to attack. So stop calling me with the garbage. He was never going to attack. It's a bluff. He's playing 20-degree chess. All right, hang up on those people, would you? They didn't even just hear what I played. He just admitted it. On Meet the Press, which will be coming out in the weekend, gave his reasoning for calling up the Iranian airstrike. Shall I play it for you again? Those of you who would come home and find your wife in the bed with another man, and she looks at you and says, honey, who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes? That's what you are. You don't want to even see what's going on. Here he is telling you why. Because he didn't have all the information before he decided to attack. Then when he got it, he said, no, I don't want to do it. Now, I want to know, those of you who are listening to me who don't like me, did anyone else in the media on the so-called other side of the liberal spectrum, meaning me, my side, the independent conservative side, did anyone else talk about Iranian deaths? Or did you already turn them into casualties? You didn't care about them. All you cared about is what? You didn't care about Iranian deaths. It meant nothing to you. Iranians are people. The Chinese are people. The Russians are people. The Mexicans are people. The Guatemalans are people. The Hondurans are people. We're all people. Do you understand? We're human beings. You can't indiscriminately kill people. Not in this world, not in any other world. There are laws against it. There's moral laws against it. God's laws are against it. If we are directly threatened and you have to fight, then you kill the others. You kill them. Kill more of them than they kill you. That's all. Iran is not threatening to kill us, are they? When have you last seen anyone in Iran? Where have we gotten hurt from Iran? Where? Tell me where. Where are the Iranians threatening you? All right, they're a terrorist state. They're an Islamic state. Totally, totally dangerous. But I said to you, use the embargo system. It was working. Blockade them. It was working. Increase the naval blockade. It was working. You force change that way, economically. But you don't say you're going to strike without looking at how many are going to die. So let me play the soundbite for you again, those of you who are not believing what you're actually hearing. Listen to it. Here is the president. You haven't heard this yet except on this show because it hasn't yet come out. Is that right, Jim? This is an interview he gave for Meet the Press that will be coming out. Well, you're hearing it first on the Savage Nation. Here is the essence of what I'm talking about. Please pay attention.
They came and they said, sir, we're ready to go. We'd like a decision. I said, I want to know something before you go. How many people will be killed? In this case, Iranians. I said, how many people are going to be killed? Sir, I'd like to get back to you on that. Great people, these generals. They said, came back, said, sir, approximately 150. And I thought about it for a second. I said, you know what? They shot down an unmanned drone, plane, whatever you want to call it. And here we are sitting with 150 dead people that would have taken place probably within a half an hour after I said go ahead. And I didn't like it. I didn't think it was proportionate.
Why didn't he think about that before he made the statement that we're ready to go? Who said you're ready to go without knowing what the casualty assessment would be? So either somebody didn't provide it to him or they fudged the figures or something's wrong with the story so far. And it's very, very interesting to me that no one seems to be disturbed or as disturbed by this as I am. People are saying, hey, Savage, for your own health, for your own sanity, this is only a radio show. Why are you taking it so seriously? I have people saying it to me. Why do you have to give it your all? Why do you have to give it 1,000%? Why do you have to put yourself on the front line? Why do you have to do this? I don't know the answer to that question. I can only be who I am, and that's the end of it. I could have ducked this today altogether and just not come in and done a best of a fill-in. Because this is not an easy show for me. Something is wrong with the picture. Now, wait a minute. Now we read an hour ago they're going to raid 10 cities and go after about 150 families now who rightfully should be deported. But do you do this by announcing in advance? ICE raids targeting migrant families slated to start Sunday in major U.S. cities. 2,000 families are going to be targeted in 10 U.S. cities. The DHS secretary says, wait a minute, don't do that. Conduct a narrower, more targeted operation. Why don't you get those 150 families that were provided with attorneys but dropped out of the legal process? Find them. Start with 150. No. I said, we're going after 2,000 families in 10 cities. You think this is going to be a peaceful operation Sunday morning? Are you going to be able to sleep Saturday night? Or is it going to be called off 10 minutes before when he's told, well, let me ask you something. If you were one of those families, what would you do? Well, you'd hide in church. That's the first thing. Sanctuary. You run behind Catholic charities. Sanctuary. That's number one. So now what do you want, ICE to break into a church? That would look very good for the world. Go ahead. That's a little... You want to talk about collateral damage? Or shall I use the phrase that I used earlier, which is the casualty assessment? What will the casualty assessment be with these ICE raids in 10 cities for 2,000 families? We don't know. Maybe you can call in for the casualty assessments before they do the raids. Why didn't they give them the casualty assessments before? Such as an elderly grandmother from one of the migrant families dying of a heart attack during a raid. How would that look on CNN? Or a child slips and falls, or they throw one of their children down a flight of stairs on their own to prove that America's a fascist state. You telling me none of this could happen? Do you understand the world we're living in today as opposed to the world we want to live in? The world that we think we're living in today? Well, what can you do then? Then we're all paralyzed. No, we're not paralyzed. There is a way to do things and a way not to do things. There's a right way and there's a wrong way. And I will tell you that with regard to War and Peace, something was wrong with that story, And now with regard to the ice race coming Sunday morning, again, this is not being thought out properly. That's what I think. What do you think?
Savage.
Look, you can't prevent aging. That's a fact of life. And with aging comes unwelcome changes you wish you could change, most notably in your skin. That's what seems to go first.
What's up,
Look at pictures from years ago and you can see how much your jawline has changed. Yeah, but it doesn't have to change with Chamonix's MDL technology. Genucel's brand new jawline treatment specifically targets the delicate skin on the neck area for tight, healthy, younger-looking skin. Robin from Lubbock, Texas says, I put Genucel jawline cream on my neck 2 or 3 days ago. This is the best my neck has looked in 20 years. People told me my face looks young. You will see your mirror smile back at you or 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Call now and the classic Genucel for bags and puffiness is free with your order. Now, this is War and Peace we're talking about, and I'm going to raise my main point so it's not lost in the ethers of the airwaves over the weekend. Why didn't the president have a casualty assessment prior to
Let me talk to Ray first.
greenlighting this? When I say greenlighting, I don't mean actually launching the aircraft, right? But having something, quote, ready to go.
I'm glad to see you, huh?
What do you mean by ready to go? What do you mean? Ready to go means you have to plan a mission. You understand that means ready to go? Ready to go means what? You have to call the airman. You have to email this, that. Everything has to be put in place. That's 24 hours. How long do you think it takes to get everything ready to go? 2 seconds? So before he was ready to go, why didn't he have a casualty assessment? If we're to believe the cover story. Why didn't the president have a casualty assessment before he got this stuff ready to go? Why? Somebody was withholding it from him. Okay, something doesn't add up here. Either that's true, either he was lied to by people within the inner circle who were salivating for blood. And by the way, as a side note, how long do you think the National Security Advisor is going to hold on to that job after this debacle? Tell me. How long? You think for a long period of time? Think he's going to be rewarded for this when he comes back from BB's shoe shining mission? When he gets back from the BB shoe shining parlor in Jerusalem, will he still have a job? Or will they tell him, why don't you go back there and open a walrus meat factory in Tel Aviv? You can kosher the walrus meat. No, look, this is getting me crazy. It's hard for me to do this without a certain degree of sarcasm and humor. But this is not funny. You're talking about life and death and how we look on the world stage. So somebody either withheld the casualty assessment or gave him the wrong figures. But he says himself he asked at the last minute. And the generals are great guys, and they told him. So why wasn't he given this before they were all ready to go and the planes were fueled, so to speak? You know, before you take off in a boat, a small boat, you usually have a plan where you're going. Even a small boat, if I go out on the bay, you set your parameters. Where are you going on the boat? Well, I'm going to go to here, so you set your latitude, longitude. You set a position. And does any plane take off without a position setting? I don't know of one yet. So now come to War and Peace. This takes a while to set those coordinates on a bomber. What about the coordinates on those Raytheon missiles, if that's what they were going to use? You don't do it at the last second. So you do this, it takes a while to set things up, get all the employees in place, the troops who are going to fire the missiles in their bunkers. All right, so, but he wasn't given the casualty assessment before that. Let me repeat it again. 2 words today. Take home. Casualty assessment. Where was it before this all started? Who withheld it or who fudged it?
The Westwood One Podcast Network. Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. The Westwood One Podcast Network presents The Savage Nation. It's savage, uncut, unfiltered, and raw. Home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, New York Times best-selling author and National Radio Hall of Fame inductee, Michael Savage.
Conservatives naturally hate war. That's right, conservatives hate war. You would think that if you're a conservative, you're supposed to love war, especially if you listen to those with mics and mansions. who want your son to go to war, but not them. But they're not going to go to war. It's going to be Eddie who's going to go to war. Eddie will go to war, not them. So they know it's good for ratings, good for the corporations that they claim to detest. But you see, conservatives detest war. It has no origins in the touchy-feely hippie movement. It springs from the roots of conservatism itself, which you will not get from those with mics and mansions. The most fundamental beliefs and objectives of conservatism seek above all social and cultural continuity, and nothing threatens that more than war. I want you to read an article on this entitled Why Conservatives Hate War by William S. Lynn from 2012. I'll put it up on michaelsavage.com. I don't have time.
In the oven.
Mr. Tony, I have what they tell you, perfect clarity, beautiful clarity, well cut, and a shitload of carrots. What do you expect?
Tony, they're gorgeous. Just like you.
Hey, come on, can we do a handover, please, and get out of here? This is too much.
No, ignore him. He's probably been up all night with some bimbo.
Tony.
You're a chef.
Welcome. Yeah.
I have a line on some kitchen supplies. How about I throw that into the equation? What's the price?
Look, here's the money we agreed upon. That's 10%. Just give us the ice.
All right. Here.
Tony, can I hold them? Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, shit, Tony, we out of here. Come on, let's go. Hey, get to the club, and don't fuck about, okay?
Terry! Let's get this over with! Fucking I got you that ice. You want me to bring it back to the restaurant?
Shit. I know you don't like me, Johnny. You don't think I'd be clipped. Jesus. Probably got half the wise guys in the East Coast following you right now. I need you to split the haul up. Leave half of the trash can on Armitage Street and the other half of the trash on Emerald. Some of my boys are gonna go pick it up. All subtle like.
Sounds real dumb to me. What you want done, I'll do it. As long as I get paid.
Got the blow!
I ditched the ice. It's in the trash now. Ray better hope a garbage truck doesn't come around anytime soon. Ray got any money for me?
There ain't no money yet. Ray's got to sell this stuff before you get your cut. You'll be in touch, sweet. I love you, Johnny.
Not enough, you don't.
To read the whole thing to you, I could spend an hour on it. But just remember one thing. In wars, two sides don't win. Both sides usually lose one way or the other. And as I say, wars are seldom won by both sides. You may think it's going to be a bloodless war that Trump will engage in because of the neocons and the radio media, who really are nothing but liberals in drag. But if you go back to World War I, you will find out that Russia's involvement in World War I gave us what? Bolshevism. As a result of World War I and the great losses by the Russians, the communists came to power. They were called Bolsheviks originally. Germany's defeat in World War I made Hitler possible. And so, the plain fact is that conservatives are naturally anti-war. American conservatives who claim themselves to be conservatives are not conservatives at all. They are interested in a thing called hegemony, control of one state over another. That's all they want. And so many people are posing today as conservatives who are nothing but progressives in drag, as I've said to you before. Real conservatives hate war. Trotskyites stole our name. You think of the blue and the red. How did they steal even the color of the Patriots? Trotskyites stole our color and stole our name. And the military-industrial complex, shall I say the military-industrial conservative media complex, frankly has done it. And they've made you confuse nationalism with war. But nationalism is the opposite of war. We loathe war if we're real conservatives. So who do you rely upon for the truth in this? Well, I'll let you decide. I'm not going to tell you who to rely on. Did Iran really shoot down the drone? Is that a reason to expend American blood and another $1 trillion? We're bankrupt from Iraq. We still haven't recovered from the Iraq war. What do you think? We're sound economically? The country's bankrupt fundamentally. You may not know it, but if you say $3 trillion in debt, what does that mean? If you were maxing out your credit card and then it got burned out and you got another burner credit card and your debt was 50 times higher than you're earning, you're bankrupt, Johnson. But okay, you don't want to hear that. All is coming up roses. I get it. Now, if war is not the solution, what is the solution? First, we've got to know what the problem is to know what the solution is. Is Iran our problem? What has Iran done that makes them our enemy all of a sudden? And have you thought about the Iranian people? Have you thought about the suffering Iranian people are living under the horrors of the mullahs? What this will do to them? No, not at all. All that matters is ratings for the media. If it bleeds, it leads. And that goes not just for CNN, it goes for radio as well. Stop being an idiot and thinking it's only one side that's lying to you. I'm sick of this. I can't take it anymore. How we have made ourselves think that they're bad, we're good.
Who are you?
Sometimes the good are bad, and the bad are good.
I'm a friend of Billy's. We met at the clubhouse.
So what's the solution?
Billy's, huh?
Well, what's the problem?
Good luck with
You say, what's the solution? What you should do to Iran? Well, what has Iran done to you? How do you know they shot the drone down?
Midlife crisis.
How do you know we didn't shoot our own drone down in order to justify a war? It looks like another WMD to me. Number one.
Why is that?
Okay, but let's say Iran is a threat, which I don't see it as, incidentally.
I didn't do anything. She ruined my life.
Embargo all shipping in and out of the Straits of Hormuz, period. Don't just starve them to death, right? Let all the Iranians die. That's the answer, right? Have you thought about that? You know, I listened to someone in radio. I had to turn it off again. I can't listen very long. It gets me sicker every day. And this fraud had the nerve to say,
by the law. Can you imagine what that feels like?
Mercifully not.
Look, all I need for you is to intimidate her lawyer. Just make him get her to back down, man.
So you want me to go put the fear of the Lord in a lawyer? And you're gonna pay me for it? Shit, Dave, why didn't you say so in the first place?
Solid, man.
have a good lawyer, pal.
Yeah? Well, in my books, the only good lawyer is a dead one.
Okay?
Put the brakes on your case against Dave Grossman or you'll be one good fucking lawyer, dude.
Okay. I know when I'm beat, okay? Chill out, will you?
Fuck yeah, boys! Good to see your ugly faces. Let's go find these deadbeats, my friend. They're somewhere in Algonquin. Okay, boys, let's roll. That's a fine-looking piece of machinery. Deserve to wear the Liberty Rocker. You got me cheese enough, okay? Please save me. Brother, shit! We're under fire! Don't make me shoot you again. Boys, let's get out of here.
You're here. You're here. Oh, man, Johnny.
What's the matter, sugar?
Oh, Johnny. I fucked up. I fucked up real bad.
What'd you do?
I messed up, baby. Promise you won't be mad.
Why? What'd you do?
I'm an addict. I need help.
What the fuck did you do?
You must be Johnny.
Who are you?
My name is not important.
What is this?
Your woman here owes Dmitry Raskolov a lot of money.
Okay.
We need you to do us a favor.
What?
We need you to kidnap someone for us.
Well, I'm not in the kidnapping business, dude.
And I'm not in the dude business, dude. You either do it or Junkie gets killed. Not difficult decision, even for a man stuck in 1960s time warp. It's easy. You grab him and deliver him to warehouse of Lampak in Bohan Industrial.
And this'll pay off her debts?
Well, it pays off interest.
Wonderful.
The name of the man we want is Roman Balak.
Yeah.
He runs a cab business, but hangs around some backroom gambling place on Dillon Street in Shuttler.
I got it.
You find him. You take him. Now, run along.
Ashley, you gotta stop fucking things up. Fuck. Dude, you busy? I got something. And I don't need it getting around the clubhouse. I'll owe you, brother.
What you need, Johnny?
I need to snatch some guy named Roman Bellic. Runs a cab firm. In debt to some Russians. You down? I'll pay.
Alright. I'm up on Y in Norwood. See you in a minute.
Nice rice rocket you got there. Come with a fortune cookie?
As a matter of fact, it did. Told me I was gonna meet some 1950s looking motherfucker who preferred rusty oil dripping junk to high-tech precision machinery.
Rusty oil dripping American junk.
Bitch, please. Your patriotism is making you ignorant. Anyway, we're gonna go grab somebody. We need 4 wheels. I got that.
All right, man, but I'm driving the cage.
Now you sure you know how?
Watch and learn, my friend. Watch and fucking learn.
Calculating route. In 200 yards. Turn left.
So we got a plan, Johnny boy?
Of course we got a plan. We snatch this guy, deliver him to some other guys, then we pat ourselves on the back for doing a great job.
Sounds simple as shit.
If you want winged presentation before every job you do, you're running with the wrong crowd.
Who is this guy? Why you want him snatched?
I don't know. I'm doing this as a favor for a friend.
Must be a good friend.
It's complicated.
Oh, it's like that, isn't it? She like your girlfriend or something? No, that's cool. I'm feeling that. Things is coming together. Starting to make sense now.
She ain't my old lady, all right?
Sure she ain't. That's why you running all over town trying to snatch a fool up, huh? Please.
She's a friend and she's in trouble. I believe in looking out for people you've been close to. You and your boys might ride, but you don't know nothing about brotherhood.
Shit, I know about brothers, but I know about bitches as well. This here job smells like a bitch to me. They got bitch stink all over it, son.
Thank God I'm hanging out with another two-bit street philosopher.
She playing you? She in trouble?
I don't know. Both maybe. Fuck it. Shut up for a second. You know, Mal, I think you've got unresolved women issues. Were you close to your mother growing up? Did she let you down?
We ain't kidnapping nobody because of my mama, Johnny. It's your lady friend getting us to do this. Think on that, son. Try not to do that, fool!
Fuck!
In 400 yards. Turn right.
Is there some kind of problem or what?
In 100 yards. Turn right. Turn left. Turn right. In 10 yards. Turn left. You have arrived.
Okay. Now all we got to do is wait for this guy to come out of there. I'm hoping he ain't too good at poker. Hell, if we're here because of his debts, he can't exactly be the buffet car.
Calculating route. You have arrived. Calculating route.
That's got to be him. Come on.
Hello.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Please, gentlemen. The men in there just took my money. I can't get robbed twice in one day. What do you want, the shirt off my back? Come on!
We're not robbing you, we're taking you.
Oh, no.
Chips have been cashed, Chubby.
No! Wait!
Get in there!
Somebody!
Shut up!
Shut your fat ass up!
We gotta take the fat man to a warehouse in Bohan.
Please proceed to highlighted route. In
How come all the slobs in this city wear shitty tracksuits, man? I think he's trying to say something, Malcolm.
I can get money! I promise!
I don't know. I ain't hearing shit.
Okay. McConnell, he has money! He'll pay you!
Oh, I get it. I think the man's trying to give us some money. We let him go, and he'll come back with a bag full of unmarked 20s, right?
Yes! Exactly! Exactly!
You mean he's like trying to bribe us?
Yeah!
I hope he knows that you and me are men of integrity, Malcolm, and that we'd find something like that real insulting.
Did you mean to insult us, Mr. Roman Bellic? I sure hope not. You hit the fool.
Shit! Get back here!
This ain't over, motherfucker!
What the fuck did you do?
You go get him. He ain't gonna be hard to catch.
You wrecked my car!
Vehicle out the vehicle. I'm so bad I can't find it. Keep him behind.
You surrounded your uniform for your son right now. You sorry son of a bitch. You ain't going nowhere. We got you in hands.
Move, you bitch! Stupid ass, move!
Ah! Ah! Ah!
There is no escape. Drop your weapon and step forward.
They are a highly biased political machine that is bent on never letting somebody like Donald Trump come to power again.
2020 is certainly on top of my old organization, Trust and Safety, is top of mind. They've been working on it since 2016 to make sure we're ready for 2020.
This is a Goliath hand but a David trying to say that the emperor has no clothes.
He got called in front of Congress multiple times. They can pressure us, but we're not changing.
Being a small little ant that can be crushed.
You're one in a bow hand, fatty!
But this is something that is bigger than me. This is something that needs to be said to the American public.
Please make a U-turn where safe. Please proceed to highlighted route.
You know, this ain't the first grungy European I've met recently.
Someone! Little young to die!
Shut the fuck up, you fat prick!
Yeah, shut the fuck up, you heard?
Jesus! Help me! Someone help me!
Shit, Jay, can you pop this motherfucker and shut him up?
Can't you see I'm trying to drive here? You fucking pop it!
Man, I just got me this knife. I don't want to go put no bodies on it already. But shit, I like this gun.
I'll buy you a new one. Just shut this dude up.
Yo, I told you, I like this gun, but I ain't getting no
destruction. That doesn't mean we won the war. We just blew the living snot out of him.
Get back in the fucking car!
O'Keefe, they sued him, he has it back down, and there's a lot of other folks in the same boat as us. O'Keefe's shit. And so I admire
Get
what
back in the car!
Financially support him. Because he's gone through hell. He loves it. He's gotten so much stronger over the years. He's gotten so much more eloquent and focused, just like we have. That which does not kill you only makes you stronger. If you want to use the analogy of your radio listener, you can't see this, but
A quick kidnapping's good kidnapping.
Falls into the
Come
trap
on.
of doom where the ring was forged. Let's show that part. Back it up. And boy,
Move them
finally,
fat little
that
legs of
big old
yours.
eye blows up. It is a very,
ain't got
very
all day.
exciting time.
Squeeze your fat ass in there.
To be alive.
Squeeze in,
And it
fatso.
doesn't mean that there's a lot of evil running around. It doesn't mean things aren't really bad, but the tide is starting to turn, and the globalists know it, and they don't know what to do. So that eye, when Hillary lost, said, oh, it's
Johnny, my
my dude. We're lucky that the fat man can't run. Next time, lock the damn hostage up.
He ain't gonna make a play like that again. Believe that.
Do that again and you're a dead man. A fat, dead man.
Back in the bottle, sweetheart.
Just pop the fucker. And you can get the bullets out of him afterwards. And no one's gonna trace that shit back to you.
No! Hell nah! I don't want to get my hands all dirty and shit. Get gravy all on my new manicured fingers.
Man, can you smell that?
Damn it! Dude done pissed himself. That shit ain't right.
The smell, it ain't just piss. I'm glad I ain't sitting back there with him.
Damn, you better not be right. What's wrong with you, man? We was only joshing you. Tell him, Johnny.
We're just meant to kidnap you. If you were meant to be going in the ground, you wouldn't be conversing with us gentlemen like this. Pull yourself together, man.
Shit.
In 100 yards, turn left, then immediately left.
I said, it's okay, it's all right. They have attacked us and lied about us so much that it just made us stronger.
Somebody looking for a fat Slav with a bladder problem?
So, this is Roman Bellic?
Steal,
Not such a tough guy, eh? What is all this fuss about his cousin?
We were asleep.
Listen, buddy. Ashley's square with you now. So do me a favor. Go easy on the fat man.
It's an incredible time to be
I've seen some of the bodies you people drop into Humboldt.
Easy, Johnny. You saw the shit stains in the back seat. He's scared enough.
What happens to this shithead is none of your concern.
They're calling for attacking anyone with American
come with
flags.
me.
Trump's having a salute to America.
Shit, Johnny. Yo, I gotta bounce.
$5 for each person. They vowed to attack that and keep anybody from getting into it. Then the media will show the event before it opens and say no one was there, just like 2016. It wasn't that Trump cared about the crowd size, which was record. He cared about that the whole media would lie and show a photo before the gates opened to the Commons, to the monument, the mall, and he was just like, they're that bad? And it's a process for all of us to go through just how bad they are.
Baby?
Those Russians have got their guy. You got lucky, but you got to control yourself, Ashley. The ice got you into this mess.
I know I am, Johnny. And you know what's the best thing about me?
And the lies just get
Call me,
crazier
okay?
and more ridiculous and more stupid and more insane. Because they don't have any truth. They're just the globalists that got put in to sell us out to foreign powers. But the minute we woke up to that, we started putting our own people back in. Doesn't mean they're angels. Doesn't mean they're perfect.
Pay attention
next
time.
They weren't born and bred to piss on the country. They weren't born and bred to hate capitalism.
Fuck
they
you.
Born and bred to hate somebody else because they had something. They were born and bred to end slavery and try to end racism. They were born and bred to empower women like nobody else did.
Sir, your car.
Let me go, asshole. Being told we're pieces of crap is coming to an end.
You're in a world of...
I want to hear some special reports when we come back. The Gerald Salente's taking over. But yeah, we'll play this Ilhan Omar that I haven't gotten to. Just the arrogance. Because she makes up for the fact that she comes from a country of slavery, where her own people would slave women. Because she came here illegally and married her brother.
Let's see you there.
She's gone. Is there arrogance telling you how much you suck?
Raymundo.
John. Ashley sends her love. Yeah. You gotta give that girl another chance, you know? You kids are perfect for each other.
Thanks for the advice, Ray. I was thinking the same thing about you and a coffin. You got that diamond money?
You're gonna have to work for it, friend. Hope you don't mind sweating a little. Handover's happening at the Limatonian. Just make sure my man Nicky walked away with half the bread, buddy. Ciao.
Okay, so let's get things moving.
their response. Alex Jones sent Sandy Hook families child porn. No, I didn't send them. People threatening us for covering Sandy Hook, saying we're going to get you because you cover Sandy Hook, sent us links that we didn't open. That's like if somebody comes and puts child porn in your mailbox. It's not your fault. This is crazy, but they think just that term. They think you're so dumb that they're just going to say the term child porn. Well, oh my God, better run away from you. Folks, nobody's buying it. We're seeing our support surge, but that's good. Because we got to fight these people on every front. That's why when you get a t-shirt, when you get a book, when you get a film, when you get great supplements, you are literally funding the second American Revolution against evil. It's never been clearer, the fight between good and evil, and everybody, I think, is getting it.
Well, and I just want the audience to understand how dire it is. I mean, we were just talking, how many cards do they have left to try to play against us before they literally try to put a bullet in your head or just blow this place up with, like, I mean, who knows what these Antifa people around here would do. I hope they wouldn't get that violent. Or maybe, you know, some spook CIA, FBI wants to come through here and try to mess with us. I know that you've dealt with that before.
We're not mentioning complaining. We want a strong finish. I think we want, but whatever, we're going on into the freaking night. We're pedal to the metal. It's that old saying of John Paul Jones, when the ship was sinking, fighting the British. They said surrender, and he said, well, we got to fight. We don't know how to give up. And I feel good at a spiritual level because the fact that the enemy has to play one of their ace of spades. I agree, kill us, whatever, that's the next one that makes us smartest. It's not going to work. They're losing on.
Well, imagine, for me, it's like, as a news reporter, as a show host, I wanted to play for the best team, and that was InfoWars. So that's like, say a young kid grows up trying to play baseball. He wants to play for the New York Yankees, but he finds out someone's trying to destroy the Yankees. The Mets are trying to destroy the Yankees, and they're lying about them, and the Yankees are in dire straits. But that kid just wants to play for the Yankees. He just got drafted, and he's just saying, fans, please support the Yankees. Make sure that the Yankees are still here so you can go to the stadium and root for them, and I can play for them. That's where we're at right now. I want to play for
Exactly.
forever.
Exactly. They're saying we're putting cyanide in the peanuts and hot dogs. None of it's true, folks. We're not the pedophiles. We're the patriots, and we're winning thanks to your support. We have Save InfoWars special, 50% off, double Patriot points, store-wide free shipping, double down, take action, and show these bastards we're not backing down. God bless you all.
How's it going?
You're listening to the
I'm here on behalf of Ray Pacino.
Waging war on corruption. Crashing
Mr. Roth and Mr. Green have been waiting for you. You
From the
moved.
Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
Okay, Gerald Celente's got a particularly powerful program lined up today for you in the fourth hour, and the war on Owen Schroyer's coming up. Don't forget, Wednesday and Thursday night, I'll be here, Owen Schroyer and many others. It's Clown World, 2 nights only, the greatest show on earth. The Democrat debates, so many of them, it takes 2 nights to look at all these cockroaches. Infowars.com.
You gotta keep an eye on this jackass.
Hey, all right, man. How's it going?
Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. Let's hope this goes a little better than before, yeah? Come on, let's get inside.
Gentlemen, pardon the precautions. You know how things are.
No problem.
Let's do this.
Okay, let's see the stuff, gentlemen. Maury, come over here.
Whoa. Since we're having a little show and tell, let's see some money.
Of course, no problem. There it is. Beautiful, huh? Unmarked bills. No history, no need to launder.
Good. Nico, show him the stuff.
Get in there, Maury. Isaac, look at them. Gorgeous, huh? Like condensed money. Isaac, these are great.
Oh! Rest of you motherfuckers wanna die? Do something stupid, okay? Fuck you!
Just get the shit, man! Come on!
There's nowhere to go, motherfucker! You're surrounded! I'm coming for you!
Keep this boring and stay puppy now. You've been a pain in my ass.
He's going down now!
We're being set up. We're being screwed.
Your ass is mine!
You are going down, my friend.
You better hope you kill me! Let's fucking do this, you motherfuckers! Come on!
All right, man, you win. Say goodnight forever, asshole.
Let's get this over with!
Please, I'm a sick man already.
Fuckers! This guy's a dangerous motherfucker. Come out in the open!
You are locked in, my friend.
Ray, tell you to jump!
Take me covered.
Die, you fucks! You ain't getting an open casket! not getting back to Ray, boys. Once you start a job, you better finish it.
Boricua, what's good, yo? No más bullshit.
All you guineas are two-faced pricks.
I'm managing artists.
Justice for me.